let's get on to the second thing that prevents people from being able to enjoy the success that they build in their lives. And that's something that psychologists will call a negativity bias. And a negativity bias does a really, really interesting thing, especially when you become successful, because you start looking around at your environment, whatever your life is and whatever your lifestyle is, however you've chosen to define success, but you start looking around and you see that it's pretty good and it's probably better than what you had imagined or could have dreamed of a long time ago. And that's because when you're on the path of achievement or success, everything that you have right now is something that you used to want. It was a goal that you set, and here you are having it. And of course, we don't always look at it like that because everything, no matter what we level up to, just becomes boring and ordinary. But in this case, we do have a negativity bias when we achieve something that we feel like is meaningful and significant. And what we tell ourselves when we look around and see that our environment is actually a lot better than we could have hoped for, we think that any single change that we make to that environment only has one possibility, and that's to make things worse. But the challenge with that is that we never really understand what better could possibly look like. And that's simply because we're limited to the vision of our lives that we can somehow define. But when we take actions and when we find these kind of places to lean into that allow us to find greater levels of good than we have definitions for right now, we usually find it. So think back to the time before you had what you have right now and really figure out, like, could you have pictured that turning out as well as it did? And chances are you probably didn't. And I know that without even knowing you, because to get where you are, you had to do something or go someplace that was unknown to you, at least at the time you did it. That's where the next level always lies. It's never where you are right now. People keeping the status quo isn't going to ever produce a greater result than they have at that moment in their life. So naturally, you have to go into something unknown. But again, that belief system in the negativity bias, that the next step is obviously going to be somewhat worse than you have right now, that's simply not true. It's just unknown. And so we can create whatever we want to create because your eyes, they're not cameras, they're projectors.